It's Kitchen Courses with Kate and Eric. Today for our dish, we're doing sweet potato, turkey, bean chili.
Yep, that's what we're doing.
It has chocolate in it.
Unsweetened cocoa.
It has unsweetened cocoa in it. Chili.
Chili. So this chili, I just really enjoy. It's a little bit different because it has sweet potatoes in it, and it's a little bit on the lighter side because it has turkey rather than beef. So if you're looking for something that a little bit different, a little bit on the lighter side, oh, it also has the unsweetened cocoa in it, which I also think makes it a little different. But if you're looking for a chili that's a little bit on the lighter side, this is for you.
The sweet potato. Are sweet potatoes really yams?
We
didn't look it up yet. You can talk about this, about keeping the sweet potato stable because it's dense.
Okay. My one piece of advice when cutting up the sweet potato is a sweet potato is really dense, and so getting a knife through it can be a little bit dangerous. So you want to make sure that the sweet potato is kind of very stable, and you want to cut it in half. And then for this, I cut each half, so you're cutting it in half the long way.
Yeah.
Horizontally. Vertically. You cut it in half the long way. And then you're gonna cut each half into three pieces, and then you're gonna cube those pieces.
Cut it in half lengthwise.
And you're gonna dice it into about an inch piece. Yeah? Does that look about an inch?
Cube it, chunk it.
Cube it, chunk it. It's kind of, I cook very rustically, and so there is not precision in my sweet potato pieces.
According to the good people at Wikipedia, a sweet potato is botanically very distinct from a yam, so it is not the same thing.
I said that, I just did not know the reason. So what's the reason, Eric? Why is it different?
Because they're in different families.
Oh.
And it is not closely botanically related to the common potato, but they have a shared etymology.
Ooh.
Obviously.
You're gonna brown 1 pound of ground turkey. So just put it in the pan. I started with about a tablespoon of olive oil, put the turkey in the pan, and brown it off.
Brown the turkey.
The turkey is cooked at about kind of medium-high heat for about 5 to 7 minutes. Drain it. You also then want to take the turkey out of the pan, put the pan back on the heat, add 1 more tablespoon of olive oil, and you're gonna then add the chopped onion. Is that what I do?
You're not really adding it. You're using the same pan for the chopped onion.
You use the same pan. Should I look over here?
Yes.
Okay. So, once the onion's in the pan, you're going to saute it until it sweats a little bit. So you don't want it to be super soft. You still want it to have a little bit of a crunch to it. After, that should take about 4 to 5 minutes. And once that is done, you're going to want to add the chopped garlic cloves. And cook that for another about a minute or a minute and a half. Once that's all done, you are going to take all of those lovely spices and just dump all those great spices into the pan. One of the things with dried spices is that you want to cook off the raw flavor. Once you have the spices, onions, and garlic cooked down a bit, you want to add the ground turkey and just make sure everything is good and coated. After that, you'll pull out the crock pot and you can add the turkey and the onions and the garlic and spices into the base of the crock pot. To that, a can of regular tomatoes and the stewed tomatoes, the 2 cans of beans that are rinsed and drained, and the chopped red pepper. And the sweet potato, does that sound about right?
What about broth?
What about broth? You're so good. You made me remember. So once you get all of that, you're gonna want to cover the top of the chili with about 2 cups of broth or water. I like to add broth because I think it adds a little bit more flavor until the broth or water is just kind of at the top. Everything's gonna cook down a little bit, so you don't need the broth or water to be above all the vegetables, but you need it to be about at the top. After that, you just put the lid on, set the timer to high, and let it go for about 4 hours. This can also be cooked. Is that what your next question was?
No.
Okay. This can also be cooked.
I don't have questions.
This can also be cooked on low for 8 hours. My one piece of advice about
people who turn crock pots on in the morning and then go to work and expect to come home and their house not to be burnt down confuse me.
Oh, I do that.
Like, that scares me.
I mean, crock pots are made to be, that's the whole point of a crock pot. And so I will say that I do
have
that.
the fear.
You have the fear. I can understand that. I can also say, I mean, so there's a couple things there, right? You don't want to use an old crock pot. You don't want to use one that has a frayed cord. But do you ever leave the house when the dryer is running?
I haven't lived with a dryer that I have to watch for a very long time.
Fair enough. So the chili, since this is our gluten-free, dairy-free episode, you could certainly add some diced radishes or some really fresh cilantro. But if you are not dairy-free, you could also add some cheese on top, because I love chili with some cheese and a dollop of sour cream.
Because we're from Wisconsin. Well, you're not from Wisconsin. Because we live in Wisconsin.
Because we live in Wisconsin. So yep, so just a bowl of this warm chili with some toppings is just such a good fall meal. Once you've cut and diced all of your vegetables, you are going to brown off